Hello, peeps, and hello, pet bars. Today is October 31st, so it's the last day of both of the drawing challenges. And the theme of the local drawing challenge was Halloween, so I wanted to play with this name, Batman and Robin. When I was a kid, of course, I grew up in Germany, and there they have a carnival that is often a little bit more noisy than Halloween, and like all the boys dressed up as Batman to the point that this actually got on my nerves. I think I can say that with humor, like 30 years later. Um, like as an adult, I actually really appreciate Batman because he is a businessman and an innovator. And let's say if a guy today would send out the message, "I'm a businessman, I'm an innovator, and I wanna fight bad guys with uh, my own cleverness and outside the box thinking," bring it on. And of course, I like puffins, so I wanted to dress the clumsy puffin up as Batman. I also at some point saw this life coaching video where someone had this uh, joke photo or caricature about a little dog that sees its huge shadow and thinks, "Oh man, I'm Batman." And actually, like the person posting this thing in a video criticized this, but I think like thinking you're big already gives you courage to try something, to maybe change something, to maybe be an innovator. So to me, yeah, like when I grew up with this carnival thing, people always told me you dress up as something or someone you always wanted to be. Um, Mostly, it ended up of course, the stereotype little princess. But like, let's say when I grew older, when I had to think more, it often ended up with something that I had at home to mixed reviews. And when I went to Canada as an exchange student, of course, there was Halloween. And like at the point in the late 90s, this was not known in the intensity as it is today in Germany. So to me, it was a little bit of a sensation. And of course, I wanted to dress up and I wanted to buy a lot of things. Like I realized pretty quickly that a big city in Canada has really many stores with many comparatively inexpensive craft items. But well, I am and was always a person who um, can go over the top. So I spent all my pocket money on decoration elements that I didn't end up needing because I used like one of my hippie dresses and stuck plenty of these like ribbon flowers on and put like X many ribbons in my hair. And then the guys at school said, "Well, hey, Freddie, are you a present?" And then I was like, I am Primrose. But like after about the 20th, am I a present? I told someone, like, don't try to unwrap me. And then this guy, helped me with my school bag and said, "Can I unwrap you now?" And like today, I have a bit mixed feelings about this. Like, I never saw this guy again, but let's say my issue with this is, of course, I don't read between the lines. So to this day, I don't know if that was like a raunchy comment or if this guy was like just trying to show humor. And I want to believe in the good in people, and I kind of want to be Batman, the innovator today, and like sort of learn to read what's good and bad for me. Um, and of course, like in the evening when I came home from school, still that decorated, and nobody had unwrapped me. The people with who I stayed said, well, now the children are coming to ring the doorbell any minute. Can you maybe sit by the door, because that will be really fun for the children. I don't remember how that turned out, but like today I actually like dressing up for children, even if it's just with something that I consider a witch hat, or even if I just take the most awkward of my dresses and braid my hair, and then I'm Pippi Longstocking. I have a lot of non-matching socks, so that comes natural, and Pippi Longstocking is also like one of the heroines of my childhood, like a good role model, as in strong girls, as in adults don't always know best. And yes, my writing nowadays is also inspired by Pippi Longstocking. In Iceland, now we're done with Halloween, and now we're done with Carnival. And so there we have Ash Day, which in German religious practices is looked at as something kind of sad because the carnival is over, but in Iceland this is just where the business starts, the carnival business. That is sometime in February or March, and the children actually go from door to door singing, dressed up, and get candy. And actually I enjoyed that really much when I volunteered at a social center and the people put a sign into the window. Dear children, ring the doorbell, come up and sing for us. We have candy. I really liked the idea of marking the house as in, hello, you are welcome, we want to participate. That was actually really similar when the Halloween custom came to Germany. Like, let's say I lived in an area with some but not many American people, so they put a letter into the mailboxes in the neighborhood. We are going trick or treat with the children. Please, if you want to participate in this, set a pumpkin in front of the door. Because that was like also in a context where people usually often told the children, don't ring random doorbells. People are maybe old and ill and don't want to be bothered. I know that there are also very divided opinions on this, but actually I like the idea of saying, like, if you don't know where to get a pumpkin, we have one for you. So yes, they invited people to participate, and the children made efforts for the costumes, and everybody had fun, but like that was 20 years ago. Like today, I get the impression that basically in all countries, it's more about drinking, it's more about destroying things, and I wouldn't want to support that. So, and of course, in Iceland, I watched too much YouTube, so I saw this totally nice and well-researched video about Halloween and autism. And my favorite point that stuck with me was that some people dress up at Halloween in a costume that also emphasizes their true nature. Like, for instance, someone dressing up as a parrot, because then you can, like this hand flapping that some people usually would judge, turns into wing flapping, and the parrot is intelligent. The parrot makes noise. And then at this day, you are allowed to be yourself. And for that matter, the last Ash Day in Iceland, I dressed up as a fortune teller, and I read the cards for people, like mostly also just with very general things, because you know how that works psychologically, but I'm actually happy if I can give people something to think about. Also like something general that they may interpret in their own way. But then actually I felt so good as a fortune teller, because that was a way to to communicate. Like I showed the people the pictures on the cards and what I saw on the pictures, and what vibes I get from these pictures. Talking about vibes, I also appreciate this original thought of Halloween, that the door between the spirit world and the people world is more open. Because, let's say, I have my personal reasons to believe in a spirit world. When the chance is given, I also attend lectures to the effect, and hope that these lectures are like wholesome and, for instance, bit more attention to the environment and to the people around one. So, for instance, one of my all-time favorite movies is Casper. Because there is this girl who doesn't exactly fit in, and then she befriends a little ghost, and he turns into a human for 2 hours, like to be able to participate in her Halloween party and to hug and kiss her. And like, he's really benign, he has humor. And let's say I want to meet people like that, and I want to appreciate the idea that there are maybe spirits like that. And at some point, I think that was on my birthday, many moons ago, I read a book about like a girl who was adopted, and then like when she was a teenager, the some creature suddenly told her that she's actually like a fairy that is, in the context, a very sophisticated plant that walks and that just looks like a human, and so she also bleeds plant sap and so on. I forgot who wrote that book, but it touched me really deeply because came Halloween in the story, and the plant girl grew a flower on the back, and she put on a fairy costume, and she was herself basically for the first time in life, and that also had an impact on who she loved, how, and let's say for me this was a little bit too close to home. So let's say now that I'm telling about this, I'm kind of starting crying, but obviously I get better feedback to these YouTube videos when I'm a little bit like honest and vulnerable. And yes, maybe this is the time to stand up for saying like, I am what you would have deemed a witch 500 years ago, in the sense of that I'm like interested in old wisdom and in things that the people don't see. And actually this also has an impact on my own book writing, like let's say the grandma who solves 2 murders with the help of some spirits and stands up to a permanently drunk a-hole. Like, she reads a lot of cards and she talks well with the animals, and maybe she is on the spectrum. Maybe, let's say, I never explicitly say that, but maybe that doesn't need to be said about everyone who might be there, because some people also build themselves a niche in life where they can exist very well. And so what I want to wish you for Halloween and for the rest of the year and for the rest of your life, just build yourself a place where you can be yourself. And I hope to see you on the weekend with my weekly recap. Bye bye.